All right, we're starting off with our weather trending story for the day, and we're still keeping a close eye on what is left of Hurricane Nicole. It is now a post-tropical storm hanging out kind of in West Virginia, but those rain showers are stretching as far south as Georgia and as far north as Canada. But what's really interesting about this storm, other than some of its significant impacts, were its track and specifically its landfall. So Hurricane Nicole made landfall on the east coast of Florida exactly 43 days after Hurricane Ian. When Ian made landfall, we were doing a lot of comparisons between Ian and Hurricane Charlie from 2004. They were very similar tracks, different sizes, but they made landfall in almost the same spot. And Nicole is very reminiscent of a different storm from that same year. Now, these are two hurricane tracks from 2004. Hurricane Charlie, you can see it making this similar landfall as Ian from this year. And then 43 days after Hurricane Charlie made landfall was Hurricane Jeanne. Now, Jeanne was a much larger and much more impactful, damaging storm than Nicole was. It made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, so that's a major hurricane. But because of the very similar track, the very similar landfall location, you can actually see it was right about there. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to Nicole, almost the same exact spot, but it was weaker. But it's still very interesting because it was exactly 43 days afterwards. Charlie and Jeanne were early in the year. Ian and Nicole a bit later. That's part of why Nicole not as strong at that landfall, but it's also one of the few landfalling Category 1 even hurricanes since, I think, within the past 40 years. We very rarely get storms making landfall in the continual United States in November. So it's an interesting thing to see, that kind of elongation of the hurricane season. It's not done just yet, but we're not expecting any development within the next 5 days for now. But that doesn't mean that things won't develop.
But so bizarre. I mean, 43 days, that's the part. Almost the same exact path. That is really strange.
It's crazy moments of the weather deja vu.
Yeah, right.
And not even that far apart. Like normally you might say like, oh, well, yeah, that happened 60 years ago. This was in 2004 that this happened.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Thanks, Sarah. That was interesting. Well, we do want to welcome